A couple of months ago, I made a video comparing Spotify with Apple Music, where I signed up for both using the free trial. Honeymoon period is now over, so let's jump straight into the details, starting with Spotify. All in all, it's exactly as the free version, except without the ads. Although technically there is a bump in audio quality, but unless I'm listening critically, it won't make a huge difference outside in the real world. Well, assuming we are allowed to go out at some point again in the future, hopefully. It's stable, quick, and I like how it remembers exactly where you listen to a song, at least on the desktop version that is. I was originally going to complain about the lack of Siri integration, but I finally made the jump to iOS 13, so that's available now. The only gripe I have with Spotify, and this is entirely my preference, I would often find that certain songs or albums are missing on Spotify compared to Apple Music, but again, this will greatly depend on what you like to listen to. Moving on to Apple Music. This one is difficult. On one hand, I love it, but there are some serious deal breakers I have to talk about. But let's start with the positives. As mentioned from my previous experience, I would often find more songs I like with Apple. Of course, there's Siri integration, and I like the lyric search function too. Since I already have my own iTunes library and listen to podcasts, it's great to have everything under one roof. In theory, that is. The issue I have with Apple is that it's very slow for some reason, and I'm fairly certain this isn't because I have a slow device or internet, given that I don't have this problem with Spotify. The other major issue is that it's rather buggy and would frequently crash the iTunes app on my computer as well as on the phone. On the flip side, my own iTunes library doesn't have this problem, only the streaming service seems to be affected for some reason. To add insult to injury, Apple touts this function where you can sync your own music library with Apple Music and use their streaming service instead, in return saving space on your device. It will, however, only work with music that Apple have already made available on their streaming service. Little did I know, once I entered my trial, not only do you immediately stop having access to the streaming service, of course, makes sense, but it totally messed up my own library where it wouldn't play certain songs. I assume it's confused with the online version, even though it's my own copy. Eventually, the only way I managed to fix this is to wipe the entire library from my phone and resync the whole thing from scratch. Thanks, Apple. Overall, my experience with streaming service has been interesting. I like the convenience of having so many songs available at any time, assuming you have internet access and if Apple Music decides not to crash every 5 minutes. If I had to pick one, it would probably still be Apple Music, simply because of the higher probability of finding the songs I want to listen to. However, the combination of being at home and did I mention the issue about the crashing? I might give it another go in the future. Hopefully they will fix some of the problems in the meantime. For now, I'll be cheeky and stick with the free version of Spotify and throw in a final curveball, SoundCloud, also available free with ads. Okay, that's it for today's update video. Hope you found it interesting in some way. My name is Joe, and thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next one.